thank you for joining us on stage today. So Ibrahim and Elie, please tell me, I mean, we can see that there's some very exciting changes in the Saudi tourism industry that are already happening. But how do you see Saudi positioned in 2030, 2040 and beyond?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, everybody. When we talk about the Vision 2030 or where we are going in 2040, let's me back to 2016. We were in a room like this, articulating the Saudi vision with 400 Saudi experts that was articulating the Vision 2030. And part of this was to articulate the vision of tourism and travel industry in Saudi Arabia. To be honest, I didn't imagine that we will be here today. So from this perspective, I think Saudi Arabia in 2040 will be one of the top 5 destinations. This is what I imagine when I see the progress, the leapfrog that we are doing today. I see it. Let me give you just a small story about this. I was in Morocco taking a cooking class in Marrakesh, sitting with my wife in a desert, in a small farm in a desert in Marrakesh. And behind us, there was a family, wife and husband with the small kids, John and Hannah. We talked to each other, where are you from and where are you from? They talked about, they are from Seattle. They said, we are from Seattle. We said, we are from Saudi Arabia. They said, oh, okay. The kids jumped and said, where is the Cristiano Ronaldo over there? So I imagine John and Hannah in 2040, their age will be maybe 32 or 33, and they invite their family to Riyadh to visit the stadium that Cristiano Ronaldo play in, okay? So the people usually they don't need a room to sit in. Okay, usually in the hospitality conferences, we are talking about the rooms. But the people, they don't need a room. The rooms is everywhere, but they need a reason to come. So in 2040, we need to ask ourselves, what is the why? What is the reason that the people come to the country? I think this is very important, and we are working very hard to reach to this point.
Thank you, Elie. What about you? What do you think makes tourism in Saudi so unique?
First of all, we've talking about the vision, and when we set the vision, I have been personally very proud. I've been very proud of being part of this journey since 2010, before the vision was executed. And I think where we are today is something I couldn't imagine either. It's something we're very proud to be part of. We're part of this journey. And I believe that there's a lot more that we can do by 2030 and 2040. Saudi Arabia is so unique that it's becoming a global destination. It's covering religious tourism, medical tourism, agricultural tourism, corporate tourism. It's going to cover every aspect of tourism that we know today. And I think we are ready for that. And we believe we continue to be one of the main players in the market.
Amazing. And what do you both see happening to kind of activate Saudi year-long? So it's an exciting destination, summer, winter, kind of reducing the impact on seasonality.
Oh, I think in the past we suffer from the high seasonality, but now with the great effort that happened with the government, with the Saudi Tourism Authority, with Riyadh season, Jeddah season, Dammam season, and other seasons, Asir season, and the DMOs, Destination Management Organization, Al-Ula, Red Sea, and others, I think we are distributing the population who's coming to Saudi. We give a new offering, a new product that happening. We start promote. We don't wait the people to come to the country. We go to the people in their places and ask them with our hafawa style, which is our hospitality style. So we invite them to come here and to come to the kingdom. So I think this is the kind of, so when you observe the seasonality, you will see how it's changing now from high seasonality. Let me give you just an example, a very small example. In Mecca and Medina, 70% of the visitors was coming in Ramadan. Okay, those here only 20% who's coming in Ramadan, and the rest is distributed on the other months. So this is how the ADR of the hotels will increase, the investment will be better, and this is how we deal with this activation and seasonality.
Amazing, thank you. Anything from your side, Elie, on year-round activation?
Yeah, something important to note about Saudi Arabia is the strength of domestic tourism. And I believe that we believe in supply-induced demand as well. The more quality hotels you have in secondary locations and secondary cities, the more people visit. And that is expected to level or reduce seasonality in the secondary markets. Creating more events like Riyadh season in the main markets, that does that as well. We've seen seasonality drop in places like Medina as well, with more hotels opening. We re-entered Medina this year. And being a cultural destination, not just a religious destination, with heritage and history, and having and incentivizing and having incentives, corporations, businesses to do events in Saudi Arabia, meetings and events, football is a good example, concerts, activities. Such events would bring in more business to the kingdom during off seasons and shoulder seasons than we would imagine.
Amazing, and I think it's really easy to talk about the vision because we're starting to see the impact, right? We see the number of tourist arrivals increasing, we see the impact on ADR and occupancy, incredible RevPAR growth in markets like Riyadh, for example. But I'm curious to hear from both of you, where do you think the gaps and the challenges are, especially when it comes to private sector readiness and preparing for the vision and for the future?
Okay, Dunia, I think a lot of challenges, and this is a natural thing to happen when we are talking about the emerging market. But let me talk about the Saudi market from different lens. The first direction that I would think about Saudi market, and I'd like everybody to think about it, which is domestic lens. Then the other one is the international inbound for religious purposes, and then the other side, which is the religious, then the leisure and MICE. It's three different markets that if we need to think about Saudi market. So to think like this, we need to think each market or each lens of the market, it has its challenges. So, but if I'd like to take it all, I think that the fragmented supply today is a big issue that's happening, especially with the emerging market like Saudi market. Also, the lack of trained talent with this very fast growth. So this is the vision. This is where we were, and this is where we are today. But the gap between the vision and where we are today, even though we are in an excellent position today, but the gap is big. Is a big gap on the talent. So attracting the excellent talent is very important. This is a big challenge. Access to capital. Okay, the Saudi market is emerging very fast, and the capital usually very patient. It needs a time. It needs an exit strategy. It needs a lot of things to be invested in. So the capital is still arguing with itself if it's go or not go. So we need a light asset or pilots that happened. A lot of people are doing good today, but we need to accelerate the capital. Also, the lack quality of implementing the standards. Ministry of Tourism raised the standards of the hotel industry, but the implementation of those standards still needs time, needs a learning curve, needs us to be patient. So this is 4 challenges that I think the most important one.
Amazing. And from a private investment standpoint, what sectors within the tourism and hospitality space do you think are the most interesting right now?
Everything. Okay, I think let me view this from 2 different also perspectives. From the location point of view and from the kind of investment point of view. From the location, Mecca, Medina, Riyadh is the quick win of investment because we have a very high demand with lack of supply from different sides, also 2 sides, from the quantity and from the quality. Okay, so this is Mecca, Medina, and Riyadh, and there is a high demand. Then there is a mid-scale which is coming, and they have a latent demand, which is Jeddah and Dammam, or the eastern area. There is a progress over there, but it's not the same like a progress that's happening in Riyadh and Mecca and Medina. So if you would like a quick win as an investment from the location, those are the 3 areas, and 2 areas is coming. So if you have a long investment, this is the area to invest in Jeddah and Dammam. From the kind of investment, the supply chain in Saudi, I don't like to have more time than what we have. So from the perspective of the kind, I think hotels, today we have about 437 key rooms. We are planning to build 330 or 60,000 rooms. So the total will be 740 or 60. It's about this. And from the inventory already is there, the 430 is 170,000. It's not fit with the new regulation, with the new standards. So it needs an uplifting. So investing in re-innovation and uplifting the hotel sector is very important. Activation, DMCs, we don't have a local DMCs that serve all the supply chain. So a lot of investment area, but you need to focus in area. And the last thing that I'd like to mention, an investment opportunity, I think we need to move from investment in one vertical to the ecosystem. How you can build as an investor, as a fund, as a group, the micro ecosystem that feed each other. Okay, so starting from the demand to the supply, because who control the demand will control the supply.
Thank you. So I guess we can see it's very interesting from an investor's point of view. Elie, from your perspective as an operator, what is Radisson Group doing to capitalize and support this growth in the kingdom? And also any interesting kind of guest expectations or changes in trends that you're seeing that you're also tailoring your supply towards?
We have a good spectrum of brands to meet that demand. If we want to have sustainable long-term demand, we shouldn't think only at the luxury tier. So we should think about the budget segment, the mid-scale segment. There's a panel on mid-scale later on. We should think about the upscale and lifestyle segments. We should think about upper upscale, and so on and so forth. I think what we are doing is we are targeting with private investors, with public investors, to develop, and we are developing, and we have opened hotels under every segment. Now, in terms of locations, what we want to do is to continue to build on that strategy, which we launched many years ago, to grow our footprint in Riyadh. We've got 10 hotels in Riyadh alone. We've got a good presence in Jeddah. We've re-entered Medina. We're growing in Mecca. We're opening more hotels in Mecca this year as well. We are growing in the Eastern Province. To support that vision, to support that strategy, we have to continue looking at all these different sectors of the kingdom to be able to grow sustainably. We mentioned one of the challenges to be talent, and talent is a challenge not only in Saudi Arabia but globally. And for us, what we're doing is we're involving with the responsible business program, the community that we're in, the environment that we're in. Today, 40%, we've got 50 hotels in operation under development. More than 40% of our talent are Saudis, Saudi men, Saudi women, and there's more interest in that as well, in the industry. And with our regional office in Riyadh, Saudization is at 60%. So from every aspect of the geographic location in Saudi Arabia, from the segment of the hospitality industry which we want to develop, the public sector, the private sector, government initiatives, training programs, training Saudis to become general managers. We're trying to have a very comprehensive strategy, execution plan, and delivery for the kingdom, not only for 2030, but for 2040 and beyond as well.
And you touched on the challenge in hiring the right workforce here and globally. Are there any other challenges that you're experiencing as you scale operations in the kingdom?
Because of how attractive Saudi Arabia is, competition is big. And I think it's a positive thing because it puts us all on our toes, and it makes us all want to have more hotels in the kingdom. So competition is a major challenge, and I don't say it negatively. It makes us improve our product. It makes us become more resilient, more responsive, more pragmatic with investors, and it makes us develop our advantages in the market. I would say another challenge is geopolitical, but the beauty about Saudi Arabia is that it's been able to waive or isolate itself from any geopolitical uncertainty in the market, has done so in the past, it will continue to do so with a strong leadership and strong position in the market and in the world. I believe one challenge that we have, capital is a challenge, but then again, if you compare it to Germany or China or Eastern Europe, Saudi Arabia is still better positioned than most markets in the world when it comes to funding. Another challenge is the number of years it takes to develop a hotel. Now, this is a very important challenge, and I know that the Ministry of Tourism and the government is doing everything it can to improve that situation. We've recently, 50% of our conversion, of our recent signings and openings are conversions. And that's a good point to mention, Ibrahim, because we've taken over many hotels that we were able to brand within 3 months and 6 months and 12 months because of our pragmatic conversion strategy with real estate investors. But what we need to continue to look at is issues like licensing and permits. Now, the right thing to do in an emerging market is to set the standard and improve the standard from an early start. The challenge there is that a lot of hotels will not pass the test. So this gives us an opportunity, like for Ibrahim, to look at the many hotels to improve, renovate, and rebrand potentially, and for us to come into the picture and take over and brand. So in a way, maybe because I'm an optimist and I always look at the good picture, the bright picture, the big picture with every challenge, but it's something that we have to keep in mind. Back to licensing for a second. Even though many of our hotels are conversions that open within 3 to 6 months or 9 months or a year, we've also signed hotels from the start, greenfield projects, that took 7 years to open. And this is something that we're all trying to improve, the government sector, the private sector, our approach, investors, in improving that situation.
Thank you. Look, it's been a fascinating discussion, and I think we could probably talk about this for hours. But I think to wrap up, what is one word you would use to describe the identity of Saudi Arabia as a global tourism destination?
Can you give me just 5 words, not one word?
Well, 5 words. 5 words. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think investing in the travel industry in Saudi Arabia, we would like it in the next 5 words. Okay, to move from vertical investment to the supply chain to the horizontal investment. We would like to move from investing in location to destination. We would like to move from old SaaS modules to DaaS modules, data as a service, driven by data. Then we would like to move lately from build and they will come to build it for them and they will come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ibrahim. I think that was a little more than 5 words, but we'll...
Thank you, Ibrahim. In one word, I would say global, because and this is explaining the one word, by the way, so I passed the test. And global because Saudi Arabia is not a regional destination, it's a global destination. It's not just about religious tourism, it's about global tourism. It's about leisure, beach resorts, mountains, medical tourism. Again, MICE tourism, I'm repeating myself there. It's not just about, I think what Saudi Arabia will become, along with the rest of the region, because you mentioned regional tourism with UAE and Qatar, Saudi Arabia will be the powerhouse, continue to be the powerhouse for a regional destination, and in itself will be a global destination. So we're all part of this journey, and it's something we should all be proud of.
There we go. I think that's a good place to end today's discussion. A global and a regional powerhouse, and a moment for all of us to be proud of being part of this destination. Thank you so much, Ibrahim and Elie, for your time today, and thank you, everybody.